here to talk to you today about a technique. It's called close reading. It's kind of a term coined by Cambridge University, and it has to do with rhetorical analyses and mainly philosophy. It's an in-depth analysis of a certain author's both linguistic and rhetorical strategies, how they use punctuation, how they write the words, the diction that they choose. And I think it's really interesting because you can take something like this, which is, a line or two of a book, and make it into a page of information and questions, and ask so much and get so much out of every single sentence of a book just by using this technique. So, to start out, this ties in very closely with philosophy. So, the first rule of philosophy in my mind is to reject all assertions. And I know that's contradictory because I just asserted that. But it's really important that for every answer that you're given, you have a question for it. Because if not, philosophy can't exist, because it's just a continuous circle of ideas. So, for example, you could read this, and it says, "It lies in the very nature of philosophy, as distinguished from the sciences, that in any form it must dispense with the unanimous recognition of all." And that basically is saying that philosophy won't have a universal truth or an answer. But at the same time, you'll notice that the author put these in commas, which in rhetoric, everything between the two commas is somewhat negligible, and you can negate it. So if you negate that, it could say, "It lies in the very nature of philosophy that in any form must dispense with the unanimous recognition of all." And now that's pretty much the same thing, except that if you emphasize lies as the opposite of truth, and then you could ask, is he actually lying when he's saying maybe philosophy does have a distinct answer or a universal truth for everybody? And you just have to think of things like that in ways where you can't really accept anything that the author says. For every question, there's another question. For every answer, there's an alternative. And so you can do that with any number of examples. I would have written more on the board, but I don't really want to take up all your time. But that's pretty much the basis of it. You can take any sentence, any paragraph, any page, and just get so in-depth with it that you can just have an infinite amount of knowledge based on any given amount of material. So, in conclusion, that's about it. I mean, there's not much to conclude with other than how to do it, and that is you go and get yourself a book, and you open it, and you can read, and anything that you find contradictory or controversial, you can write it down, and you sit and you think about it, and what does this really mean? Can there be alternative meanings for this? And that's about it. Thank you.